In this presentation, we're going to cover curriculum philosophy, the three fundamental principles, and also we're going to take a look at curriculum integration with the 10 levels of curricular integration, some of their advantages and their disadvantages.
Curriculum philosophy. Curriculum philosophy speaks to the foundation of knowledge and beliefs that makes education goals and aims achievable. Curriculum philosophy. Philosophy, according to Ornstein and Hunkins, requires looking beyond the immediate to causes and relationship and to future development. In the words of William, cited by Ornstein and Hunkins, our source of direction is found in our guiding philosophy. This is to say, our philosophy of education influences and to some extent determines our educational decisions, choices, and alternatives. The national policy of education in Belize are rooted in a philosophic orientation which sees education as the lifelong acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes required for full personal development and for active participation in society. Embedded in this orientation are several fundamental principles which guide decisions about the substance and process of education. These fundamental principles are: the learner learns to learn, respect for a student as a learner and a person, and social functionality. The first is the belief that education should ensure that the learner learns to learn, that is, acquires the habitual process of and capability of lifelong learning and capacity development. This principle is fundamental to a process of education which attempts to develop a product with specifications to meet future requirements such as knowledge, skills, and attitudes. The second is a fundamental respect for the student as a learner and, more importantly, as a person. The former dictates the process of education and is informed by theories of child development and of teaching and learning. The latter speaks to the vision of the product. It is a choice of what is important and is a source of the content and objectives of schooling in terms of the full development of the individual physically, in attitude, ethically, and spiritually. The last fundamental principle is recognition of the importance of social functionality, the perception of the empowered individual actively participating as a productive unit, but mindful of the relationship and interdependence of the individual to others and to the physical environment, family, and community relationships. These are informed by analysis of needs and dependencies and of relationships and requirements which characterize the individual as a competent unit in a physical and cultural context. Relevance of philosophy to curriculum development. Philosophy and the curriculum influences education and to a large extent determines the educational decisions and alternatives for an institution. Firstly, the philosophy creates a direction for curriculum specialists, Without a philosophy, educators would be directionless in the whats and hows of organizing and implementing the goals and aims set out by the curriculum. Secondly, philosophy provides educators, especially curriculum specialists, with a framework for organizing schools and classrooms. It helps them answer questions about what the school's purpose is, what subjects are of value, how students learn, and what methods and material to use. Philosophy provides them with a framework for broad issues and tasks such as determining the goals of education, subject content and its organization, the process of teaching and learning, and in general, what experiences and activities to stress in schools and classroom. It also provides educators with a basis for making such decisions as what workbooks, textbooks, or other cognitive and non-cognitive activities to utilize and how to utilize them, what and how much homework to assign, how to test students and how to use the test result, and what courses or subject matter to emphasize.
To define the term curriculum integration, there are several meanings and terms that can be linked to this curriculum integration term, but we can use this definition. Curriculum integration speaks to one in which children broadly explore knowledge in various subjects related to certain aspects of their environment. Humphreys, Post, and Ellis, 1981. Here we have terms that we want to think about when we look at curriculum integration. Firstly, we want to think about relevance. How are students going to benefit from curriculum being integrated? Are they going to be able to use these skills that they have learned in their real life? Next, we want to think about inclusion. How are teachers going to be able to have flexible schedules, have flexible students grouping, and how we can combine subjects to allow students to get the most out of it. Next, we want to think about synergistic teaching. This reflects subjects are related and taught in such a manner that they are almost inseparable. So we don't want to teach subjects separately, but what curriculum integration focuses on is combining them and relating them to various subjects or various topics that might be taught to students, and so this then allows them to get the most out of what is taught. Lastly, we want to focus on Fogarty's levels. Here in this presentation, we're going to cover the 10 levels of curricular integration of Fogarty. Have the 10 levels of curricula. We want to first go over some of the benefits of having an integrated curriculum. First, we want to think about how it focuses on basic skills, content, and higher level thinking. Secondly, it provides a deeper understanding of content. Also, it provides connection among various curricular disciplines. And here we have a series of levels of curricula. We're not going to cover all of them, but firstly, we want to start with listing them all. So we have broken, and it says this one is a separate and distinct disciplines. So if you look at the image, they have a graphic representation that tries to best imitate what it is the curricula is trying to explain. So broken, we have different disciplines and they're all separated and they're all taught differently, so they try to target their own thing and there is not much combination. Secondly, we have connectors. This deals with themes that are able to link the disciplines together. So if you are able to see, we have connections in one of the subset. All right, next is nestled. This focuses on social skills, thinking, and content that are tracked in a given subject. in this nested curricula, what they try to focus on is skills. So they try to integrate a series of different skills that students should acquire through the integration of the lesson that will be delivered. Next, the fourth one we can cover is sequences. It says similarities are taught the same educational moments but are separated disciplines. Next, we have intersect. Intersect tries to focus on shared planning and teaching that take place in two disciplines in which overlapping concepts or idea emerges as organized elements. So if you can see the symbolic representation, it's basically having the middle portion set for something that is of common ground. We might have two separate things being taught, and at the middle we have something that allows them to be merged and their content can be the same. Palma focuses on using one central theme for teaching several subjects. So in the case of Belize, most of the time we have various celebrations. So if we consider the September celebrations, teachers try to integrate that in all the subjects that are taught. So that is how the Palma integration works. Some of the other curriculums include string, integrated, sync, and type network. And these just cover series of curricular integration that can be used so that students can get the most out of a lesson, and there can be more integration and skills that students can get from the lesson instead of just having separate and distinct lessons being taught. So essentially what integrated curriculum tries to focus on is something that connects different areas of study by cutting across subject matter lines and emphasizing unifying concept. The integration focuses on making connections for students and allowing them to engage in relevant, meaningful activities that can be connected to real life. So in essence, that is what curriculum integration tries to focus on. Focuses on students' engagement and the skills that they will eventually get from the lessons being taught. So this slide focuses on relevance to curriculum development. The first pointer reads, integration is a way of making education more meaningful. Its concerns about national achievement levels and high dropout rates have put spotlight on any educational change that can lead to increased student success. So having an integrated curriculum will help with dropout rates and have a change in student success rates. Lastly, curriculum integration may be an effective element in making education both manageable and relevant, and must be considered when developing a curriculum. Now for some revision. It says choose one. Choose the image that best represents the concept given. If we can remember, Palma was one of the curricula. Which one do you think best represents Palma? Was it the four circles that are joined together? Was it one with a central theme? Or was it one that had a network of experts and resources? The correct answer is 2, using a theme as the basis for teaching several subjects. Choose the word that best relates to this definition. Separate and distinct disciplines. Do you think it's nestled, intersect, broken, type network? You choose. You select broken, then that is the correct answer. Recommendations for curriculum development that we want to use when thinking about it in Belize. You want to say, firstly, here we have utilizing concepts and materials that students are familiar with. Next, that they should try to use strategies that enables students to extract minimum skills. So we want to focus on strategies and skills that students will be getting from lessons that are being taught. Lastly, we want to link concepts. So linking concepts to real life is always a good way to allow students to have maximum engagement. End of our presentation. This is our team: Miss Anissa Sanchez, Diploma in Education Methodology; Mr. Kenwer Begal, Bachelor in Mathematics Education. Thank you.